Right now on KREM 2 News at noon, the question is, could Spokane County move back to phase 2? We take a look at the real numbers in real time. And the debate over vaccine passports has now made its way to the inland Northwest.
Vaccine passports create a different class of citizens.
We'll explain what they are and why not everyone is on board. Plus, the Chauvin murder trial, it continues today. We have everything you need to know about key witnesses and some new evidence being presented inside the courtroom.
And of course, we're going to take you outside, talk a round of snow that just went through, and temperatures rising later this afternoon.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura Papetti and welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. And we do begin with breaking news at this hour. President Joe Biden just wrapped up a press conference taking aim at reducing gun violence. President Biden unveiled a series of executive actions. Most of those actions tackle relatively minor issues, like a revision of the federal government's definition of firearm. Another target so-called ghost guns. That means weapons assembled from kits that have no serial numbers. The president will order the Justice Department to try to limit their availability.
Gun violence in this country is an epidemic, and it's an international embarrassment.
The NRA issued a statement saying it will fight these ill-conceived executive actions. 12:01 right now, growing concern across the state that some counties could move back to phase 2. KREM 2's Tim Pham takes a look at the real-time numbers.
Let's get to by the numbers now. Spokane Regional Health Officer Frank Velasquez told us Spokane County was close to moving back to phase 2. So I want to break down the real-time numbers for you from the Department of Health in Washington State. This is a map showing you who is moving, where county numbers stand right now and where they need to go. So right now you can see the green means that counties are meeting the goals. Red means they're not. So not great in eastern and central Washington. Right now, this is the new case rate. Spokane County is currently meet the goal. If we take a closer look, right now the case rate is 160.5 per 100,000 people. That number needs to stay below 200 in order to stay in phase 3. Now, that's not the case for Whitman County. If we take a look at Whitman County right now, they're at 243, so above that number. The concerning part for Spokane County, though, is if we look at hospitalization rate. Hospitalization rates need to stay below 5 in order to stay in phase 3. Otherwise, we could move back to phase 2. So you can see Spokane County not meeting the goal in red right now. Our current case rate, or hospitalization rate, I should say, is 6.4 per 100,000 people, not meeting the goal. So again, we will be evaluated on Friday on whether or not we will move to phase 2 or stay in phase 3, and then we'll find out on Monday. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. You can always track this map on KREM.com.
All right, Timothy, thank you so much. Easy to understand some of those numbers as we look ahead to when we get evaluated again. It is 12:03 right now. Looking ahead, Governor Jay Inslee is set to visit Spokane tomorrow to tour the arena mass COVID-19 vaccination site. We'll have updates from the visit tomorrow, of course, on all our shows and always on KREM.com. Talking about vaccines, the first vaccines will be administered at a new clinic run by Chaz Health at Spokane Community College. The site is located at SCC's Walter S. Johnson Sports Center. Community members do not need to be patients of Chaz Health in order to receive a vaccine, but they must meet current eligibility requirements in Washington State. Also, an appointment is required to receive the vaccine. Walk-ins are not available at this time. Appointments are available, however, on the Chaz Health website. You can also find more information. We have it listed on KREM.com. Meanwhile, Multicare has more than 500 vaccine appointments available both today and tomorrow. Those appointments are for those, again, who are eligible for the vaccine in the state of Washington. Multicare says since eligibility expands next week, it is the perfect time for those who are already eligible to schedule their appointment. The available appointments are for first and second doses. So to check your eligibility and also to schedule an appointment, easy to do. Text the word vaccine to our text line. Again, this is for text. The word vaccine, 509-448-2000, and we'll send you a link to get you to the right place. Also, vaccine numbers, as they increase, more people are venturing out to events and planning trips. but there are some questions about whether we will need to carry what's called a so-called vaccine passport to prove that you have indeed received the shots. Nicole Hernandez explains what they are and why not everyone is on board.
Yeah, so vaccine passports are this idea that someone should have to show proof of a vaccine to be able to get into certain places or have certain services. So now the big question on people's minds is, will you need that vaccine passport on top of your regular passport and of course your mask to have to catch a flight at the airport? Well, a spokeswoman for Washington Governor Jay Inslee said they are not considering vaccine passports in Washington. However, it is possible, though, that private companies could require them. The White House says Americans will not be required to carry a vaccination credential or so-called vaccine passport. Several U.S. states, including Idaho, though, have actually banned vaccine passports, arguing vaccines are not mandatory.
A trend is starting to emerge across the country, one that threatens individual freedom and patient privacy. I'm talking about so-called vaccine passports. Vaccine passports create a different class of citizens.
New York State just unveiled a digital pass that shows proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test, and other counties have been moving ahead with the vaccine passport plans. And several international airlines are actually testing out a universal travel pass that can show that you have a negative COVID-19 test, and they're thinking about potentially using that exact same kind of program to show that you've had the vaccine as well. In Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, appreciate it. 12:06 right now. We're going to take a moment, toss it out to Jeremy Lagu. And Jeremy, it was really chilly this morning, but looking ahead, looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, Laura. It will be amazing, but we got to kind of get through the afternoon. Right now, I'm standing outside. It's a couple random drops of graupel coming from the sky, and that's really about it. Those are those small, kind of hard-packed little mini snowballs, and that's what we're seeing right now. But all in all, it's that mix of clouds and sun, and as I mentioned earlier, by the time we get into the afternoon, we really are going to start drying out across a good chunk of the inland northwest. 45 in Spokane, 35 over in Coeur d'Alene because of some of that cloud cover, and yeah, that same snow that rolled through here just about an hour ago. 43 up in Sandpoint, quite a bit warmer, but once that snow moves out, I promise Coeur d'Alene, you are going to warm up. You can see it coming down there right now, and it does move out rather quick. It really does as we get into the afternoon. But if you look back out to the west where everything's coming from now, we are starting to dry out, starting to see that shift in the weather pattern that's going to bring about drier temperatures. And yeah, that's the sun that just decided to come out and shine down. So this is really what's going to take us into the afternoon, that mix of clouds and sunshine. As our moisture moves out, we open the door for that. And tomorrow, expect a similar day to what we've seen this afternoon, just with maybe a little bit more sunshine as we move through the day. All in all, temps on the rise. We're up in the low 50s a little later today.
The murder trial of fired Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin is continuing. Now on Wednesday, use of force experts testify that Chauvin had his knee and most of his weight on George Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes.
He was not attempting to resist, and the pressure that was being caused by the body weight could cause positional asphyxia.
And there was also extensive testimony about Floyd's use of drugs, including whether video of his arrest shows him saying he doesn't do drugs or that he ate too many drugs. Prosecutors replayed the video from an earlier point, saying it is open to interpretation. So again, that trial continuing, and we will have more coverage from the courtroom tonight on KREM 2 News. 12:09 coming up. Live music is steadily returning to Spokane. Very, very exciting for music lovers out there. One of favorite spots reopened last night. Coming up after the break, what the bar has in store for tonight.